Hey everyone, this is Stephen Strawn at Cast Iron Cookware, where you can find information to help you better collect, restore, and use cast iron cookware. Today we're going to be restoring these wire wheel damaged pieces of cast iron, and we're going to be doing that coming right up. Okay, I have a couple of pieces of Birmingham stove and range. I have a Birmingham stove and range 10-inch chef skillet that has been wire wheeled. You can tell by the shiny. It's somebody thought they were doing something that was good when they hit this thing with a wire brush, but actually they took away all of its potential collectability. But that doesn't mean it can't be a great user. We also have this little square skillet, Birmingham Stove and Range Century Series skillet. It's really sad to see pieces like this that someone has used a mechanical means of cleaning them, like a wire brush or sanders or a wire wheel of some kind. It's really sad. Now, right now, the seasoning is not going to stick to it too well because it is slick as glass. And all the microscopic surface area of it has been beat down and even filled in with particles of the wire wheel. So it's not going to hold seasoning very well. And if you did season it, you just with a little bit of a spatula scraping across it could just rake this seasoning right off of it. So we're going to use a vinegar bath for this process. We're going to use a 50-50 vinegar solution. That is 50% vinegar and 50% water. This piece has already been damaged, so it's very possible that we may have to do the process 2 or 3 times, because what we want the vinegar to do is eat away at the surface. Now, you don't want it to eat away too much at the surface, especially with a piece that is vintage and collectible, but these are no longer collectible. So I'm going to let it eat away and kind of roughen up the surface again. I've even heard people say, leave it out in the rain for a few weeks. Well, that will actually cause rust to start, and basically what we're trying to do is break down the surface of this iron and steel that has been embedded in it with a wire wheel. So let's go to the vinegar bath and get it started. Okay, instead of putting this in a vinegar bath, I'm going to use my trusty little vinegar water spray bottle. And I'm going to do this inside. I'm going to go ahead and just spray it down. With my vinegar water solution. And we're only going to really worry about the inside of the pan. There's probably enough to kind of fill the bottom, because that's the surface that really matters to us. And I got these little plastic cutting boards. I'm just going to set them on. And we're going to give this 30 minutes, but I am going to come back every 10 minutes and give it a little bit of a spritz. Okay, it's already been 10 minutes and we're starting to see a little bit of rust. I'm going to take my famous little scrubby and just scrub around a little bit with this one. Get around the edges. Okay, it's been another 10 minutes and I'm seeing quite a bit of a release. A little more on the shelf skillet than it is on the square skillet. I'm starting to feel a little bit of texture, which I didn't feel before. So we may have something that we can actually apply a season to. So we're going to give it another 10 minutes, and then we're going to rinse, and we'll check it out then. Okay, it's been another 10 minutes, so we've had a total of 30 minutes, and we're seeing a big change. We're going to go ahead and take these to the sink and clean them up good, and we'll take another look at them. Okay, we've washed them up, and a lot of the shine is gone, especially on this one here. course, I spritzed a little bit on the back side before I washed it and let it sit in the sink for a few minutes. But this here looks like it's going to turn out pretty good. This here looks like it might need a little more. It's still really slick. This is after 30 minutes. I think I'm going to go ahead and spray the inside again and give it another little bit of time just to make sure we've gotten rid of all the slick, shiny. So we'll give it another. I'm going to go ahead and let this set just like this for about 20 minutes. Okay, we'll give them a good wash, and the hard slickness is gone, and there's still a little bit of a sheen to it, but I think it's a lot better than it was. We went ahead and put a really thin coat of seasoning on there, and I believe it's going to turn out pretty good. We're going to go ahead and stick these in the oven for our first seasoning coat, and we'll check them out when they come out. Okay, we've applied our first round of seasoning, and I think it's going to take, it still feels slick, and I really made sure my first coat of seasoning was extremely thin. I wiped it down really, really good, so it almost looks like there's not a layer on there. But that's the idea. The thinner the layer, the better the grip. So we're going to do this a couple more times and we'll see how it goes. Okay, we went ahead and done 4 layers of seasoning on both of these, and they turned out really good. Now this square skillet, BSR square skillet Century Series, it turned out really, really nice. It got nice and black, and the color is really even on the outside and the inside. It wasn't too badly damaged compared to the chef skillet. Now the chef skillet, it was in terrible shape. Now the inside has still kind of got a brownish tint. It's going to take a little more than 4 coats of oil. It's going to need to be cooked in for a little while. And it's kind of got a little bit of a bronzy tone as well. And it's not totally even. Now the back side is a totally different story. We got these little splotches all over it, all around it. I probably should have put the entire thing in a vinegar bath instead of just spraying the surface. But it's on the outside. It's only going to be a user. It's not a collectible piece anymore. Its collectability is absolutely gone. But it'll be able to be used. Okay, I just want to recap a little bit. Now our Birmingham Stove and Range square skillet, of course, it turned out pretty good. It's nice and black. It looks really nice. It looks like it doesn't even have any issues with it, even though it was hit with a wire wheel. Now, a lot of people don't see these very often, and this has the ridge, kind of like the Birmingham Stove and Range skillets do, but the handle is a lot different shape. It's more on lines of the shape of the chef skillet, still a little bit different, but you still have a ridge. Now, some of the griddles don't even have a ridge, so they're a little bit tricky to identify. But this one here is a nice little Century, and it turned out great. I believe the process of spraying the vinegar on it was just fine. The bottom wasn't really that bad. So evidently, whoever was wire wheeling that one didn't have to put as much energy into it because the stuff came off pretty easy. But I would say this, don't wire wheel cast iron. It just ruins it. It ruins the collectability altogether. Now it can still be used, but it's just no longer valued as a collectible piece. Now the chef skillet, on the other hand, the inside turned out really well. Now we sprayed both of these pans with a 50-50 vinegar solution, but I believe this chef skillet probably needed to be submerged in a vinegar bath. I believe it would have done a lot better. That way we could have took care of the outside Now the outside will fill in, but it's going to take a lot of cooking in it before it does. But it will. It'll still be a great user. I think the cooking surface is going to work out just fine, but its collectability is lost. I hope that you've enjoyed this video and you found it to be informative. If you have and would like to see more, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you'll be informed of new videos when they come out and you won't miss out on anything. Also check out Cast Iron Cookware Facebook group. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you would like to receive emails from Cast Iron Cookware, I send one out every week, kind of updating on the videos that are coming out and things that are going on with Cast Iron Cookware in general. So I just want to say thank you again for watching Cast Iron Cookware.